And now we're going to jump in, of course, to a recap of the edge. That is where I gave an edge to the fighters of UFC Mexico, who I thought was going to win. Of course, sometimes I don't give out an edge. I can say it's going to be even, so that, that isn't included, of course. But I do give out the edge quite often, probably sometimes a bit too much. We've been caught with some rough picks here and there. But I'm trying to rein that in, and boy, did I rein that in this week. I mean, my goodness. We'll get into the recap right now, because it was a good week for us here. And that opened up with Muhammad Naimov. I mean, could he have been the sniper pick? He probably could have and should have been, but that's okay. I mean, we still won the sniper pick anyway with Felipe Dos Santos. But Naimov got a great win for us right away. Well, I mean, it was a little bit weird to watch, if we're being real. I mean, that was where Silva's knee kind of buckled, and then the fight was just over. But I mean, let's be real. Silva was getting hit quite a bit. He was getting walked down. I mean, it probably was not going to last that much longer anyway, So, in the long run, I think it was going to be the exact same result anyway. He just probably got hurt less than he would have. So probably good that happened to him anyway. No head damage, So, took the win, start the night 1-0, and that brings us to the sniper pick. Oh, button didn't work there. Dos Santos. Like I said, much closer than I thought this was going to be. Dos Santos ahead with the striking. Altamirano kind of dragging him around with the wrestling over and over and over again. Very, very, very close. By the end of it, ended up being a split, and I'm not gonna lie, I try to be pretty impartial with these kind of things, so I actually kind of thought Dos Santos lost, so I was like, wow, this is gonna be a bad week for us, lose the sniper pick, that's not a good way to start, because then, one of the parlays dies, you lose all the units from the sniper pick. I thought this was gonna be bad, but the judges of UFC Mexico were on our side this time. I was pretty surprised, I'm not going to lie. It ended up being 29-28, 29-28, or how should I say this? Oh yeah, 29-28, 30-20, I think that's written right. So somebody had it 30-27 for Dos Santos, I believe, if I wrote that right, maybe not. Yeah. Because I wrote 29-28, 28-29, 27-30. So if you reverse that, that would be 30-27 for Dos Santos, 29-28 for Dos Santos, and 29-28 for Altamirano. I had it 29-28 for Altamirano. I don't really know how you could have it 30-27 either way. There were some weird decisions all around this card. I mean, there were four split decisions on this card. That does not normally happen. Pretty insane stuff here. So yeah, we got really lucky with that one, which is new for me because I'm usually on the wrong side of these decisions. So we got really lucky on this one because I feel like he lost that one and Altamirano won. But we move on. We started the night 2-0. Great way to start. Then that brings us to Fereziam, another great win. And again, I did say that I was a little bit worried last week just because I wasn't sure, like, oh, maybe Puelles, shored up those problems of being super, super one-dimensional, and maybe Fereziam doesn't have the takedown defense that we thought. I mean, I was pretty worried, I'm not going to lie. As soon as Puelles got that first takedown, I was like, I think we lost. I think we lost because he was down on the ground for quite a while. I thought we were going to be in some trouble there. Excuse me. Somehow, again, we got another split decision. I kind of did think Ziam won this one, so I think they ended up getting it right, but I will say it was very, very close, and I really could have seen it going in either direction. So maybe we got away with another one here, I don't know, but it was very, very close. Because Puelles did get a lot of takedowns, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot with them. He didn't really do a whole lot of damage, and Ziam ended up kind of recovering his position and getting to the dominant spot quite often. So it kind of made sense as to how he won the decision. I also had it 29-28, but I really could have seen it going either way. So again, maybe a little bit lucky on that one as well. Very, very close, but 3-0 to open the night. That's all we're looking for, is some W's here. So working out well at that point. Then we continued the winning streak with Manuel Torres. Got the early finish, but it was a sub. I was expecting a knockout for sure. Did not expect the submission win at all, but hey, there you go. Crazy win for Torres. Amazing way. I believe that was to to open the main card. Great way for Mexico to get some wins, because let's be real. I mean, especially with that Dos Santos one, kind of robbed of a win there for Altamirano, and some bad Mexican losses throughout the card. So it was kind of a rough go for the Mexican crowd, but they were still loving the fights, and this is one of the ones that they got the win. So good for them on this one. And another win actually for Mexico was the next one. It's Yasmin Jauregui. Nothing really crazy. It wasn't really one of the crazier fights to watch. I mean, it was good, but especially, because some of these women's fights can be like, okay, it's getting a little, too much clinching, a little slow. And Jauregui is the exact opposite of that. She is not slow. She is a very, very entertaining fighter. But again, nothing insane to watch. I think it was because it was fairly one-sided. I mean, Jauregui was just really outstriking her quite a bit. Never really a danger of her losing, but also never really close to a finish, which dominant, but not super exciting. But again, we're taking home the win again. So I believe that's 5-0 at this point to open the night. I mean, we're just cleaning up at this point. I mean, it's just too easy. Sadly, we lost one of the best fights on the card. I did give Rosas the edge here, but sadly canceled. And we were actually supposed to get it now this week, but from what I can tell, that has actually been canceled completely. So it looks like we're not going to be getting a Rosas performance at all anymore. So hopefully, I don't know, they can turn him around. Maybe, I mean, I actually thought, I don't know why they were not doing this in Miami. That would have made a lot of sense. I mean, Tercios, Rosas Jr., prelims in Miami, featured prelim even maybe, something like that. I don't really know why they didn't do that. Instead, they just canceled it altogether now. I don't know. Sucks. Hopefully he comes back soon. I actually was excited to see the fight in general because it looked like a pretty good fight on paper. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing, but no win, no loss. So that's just whatever, it's in white for a reason, but it's in white and green for a reason because it's not a loss. It's kind of a win, It's a win in my books. I don't know, but it doesn't, of course, count towards the overall all-time record, which we will get to in a second. But sadly, I thought we were going to be finishing the night, a perfect night, going, what would that be, 7-0. Sadly, we end the night with a loss. I gave the win to Moreno. Brutal. I really did not see that coming, especially in a decision. I really did not see that one coming. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Moreno was just expecting, because he was expecting to fight Albazi, so maybe he was just preparing in a different way, different strategy, and got thrown Royval in a 5-rounder instead. I don't know what was going on, but it didn't really look like Moreno, the Moreno that we always see. Maybe it was the altitude. Who knows? There are so many reasons, what went wrong here. But yeah, shocked, depressed. It's just sad. I mean, it's in Mexico, for fuck's sake. I mean, not fun to see. Not fun to see him go out like that, especially when you want the crowd to go out like that. You want to see the crowd get a win as well, especially after, of course, Yair lost the co-main like that after doing so well. The crowd was kind of in the dumps after that one, so you kind of wanted them to see their biggest hero, Brandon Moreno, win. But And I, of course, wanted the parlays to cash in. I wanted to have a perfect night here with the picks. And it all comes crashing down with Moreno. Very, very sad to see. But yeah, you know, to be honest, I will say, though, I kind of had it for Moreno. I had it 48-47. I believe it was rounds 1, 2, and 5 for Moreno. That's what I had. But, you know, they gave it to Royval, another split decision again. So really, it could have gone either way. You can't be yelling around at people like, you know, this person clearly won. No, it was a split. And honestly, this one deserved to be a split, just like a couple of the other fights on here. It was that close. I really could have seen it going either way. I personally had it 1-2-5 Moreno, so 48-47. But, you know, I'm mad about it because of the losses, but as a fan watching it, I was like, nah, okay, you know, I do see where they were coming from. And hilarious confusion though when Bruce says Brandon, and they're both like, oh, because they both, you know, that's the problem with them both having the same name, is you really don't know who won until he says the last name. So they're kind of like, wait, did I win? Did I lose? What just happened here? Oh man, great stuff. Great theater, as they say. But yeah, that brings us though to a final record of oh, I thought it was going to bring it up. It didn't bring it up. That brings us to a final record of 24-13 so far. I mean, after 2 huge weeks in a row, you know, we're stacking up these wins nicely. This is what it should be like. I mean, should we have gotten a perfect week last week? Maybe, but you know, I'll take a 1 loss. I'll take that. 24-13. That is much better. Still not as high as I'd like to be, of course, but 24-13 is definitely much better than we were seeing before, which was like a 55% record. Now this is about it's about 60 something percent. So, you know, we're stacking them up a little bit, but really we should be in the 70%, 80% range. So hopefully we'll keep stacking up the wins here to get to that percentage. But 24-13, you know, we're making a nice recovery after some even weeks. I mean, we haven't had a losing week yet, knock on wood, but we've had a couple of even weeks. So it was like 3-3 and a draw, 3 and then it was like 4-4 or something. Yeah, so we've had a couple of even weeks. Nice to see 2 weeks in a row now where we stacked up some good wins. And that's it for the recap for UFC Mexico.